So now we're going to start the second half. Our first presenter is somebody I'm sure you all know, somebody who has contributed a great deal to the city of Longmont, somebody who has taken the time to instill in Longmont the pride of being here, and also has contributed in the part that Longmont is a great city to live in. There are a lot of great things going on here. And I guess the best way to introduce Dan would be to say he's a gentleman who has gone through a lot and yet done a lot. He's contributed a lot and asked nothing back. But he's about to share a part of his life and something that he feels very strongly about with us. So at this time, Dan is an international consultant and is the author for all the wrong reasons, a compelling memoir of a Latino man. Dan was one of the founders of El Comité and was one of the founders of the Hispanic Education Foundation. Dan is presently the vice president of the board of directors of EcoCycle and a member of the board of the Longmont Housing Development Corporation, LHDC. Dan is a former city councilman at large, also served as mayor pro tem for Longmont. He holds a BS in business administration from the University of Northern Colorado, and he's one of the reasons Longmont is what it is today. Let's give Dan a warm welcome.
Yes, for all the wrong reasons. My journey for all the wrong reasons. It's not about power. It's not about ego. It's not about getting up there. That's for all the wrong reasons. And this book that I was writing when my mamacita was dying was written because it was for all the wrong reasons, the things I did in my life. This man, Emiliano Zapata, one of my heroes from Mexico, it was he who said, "I'd rather die standing than to be living on my knees." And I'll talk a little bit about that. And mi mamacita, my dear loved mother, it's my mamacita who told me, "Mi hijo, my son, don't worry, you're doing good for your community." But I was doing it for all the wrong reasons, and she was dying of cancer then. You know, mama, hey mama, no longer on my knees, mamacita. My mamacita was my life. And David Brenner, famed comedian, my dear Jewish famous comedian friend, died a month ago. A month ago he died. He was my friend. He was my mentor. He took me. He wrote the foreword to my book, For All the Wrong Reasons. A Jewish comedian of fame, massive fame. And in my journey, that my dad was always going and finding work for us wherever we had to because he provided for his family. We lived in a sheep herder's wagon. When we got to Nevada, we lived in a sheep herder's wagon. We had nothing. We were poor. We lived in a sheep herder's wagon. And you know, the toilet facilities aren't too good. And that's me and my brother when we lived in the tar shack in Ely, Nevada. And when we walked down the streets in Ely, Nevada, they told us, "Get off the sidewalk. You're not supposed to walk here with us." They did that to the people, brown people, black people, and Catholics, by the way. I'm not picking on that, but that happened. And that's my brother and I. And then my dad took us and we moved to Compton, California. Yeah. That was the mean streets. Compton, Vernon City, California. These guys were gangbangers. You didn't give anything. You either kicked ass or you had your ass kicked. Pardon that, but that's the truth. And these guys were that. Compton, gangs, everything. In the streets of LA, my brother and I selling papers, working, making money to give to my mama and my daddy because he was working in the roofs. He took on roofs. This journey of ours that took us all through the world. And everywhere we got, they told us, we ain't going to get there. I was taught to believe I couldn't get there. And then he moved us to Albuquerque, New Mexico, Sacred Heart Church, Sacred Heart School in the Barrio Barelas, New Mexico. We lived in Los Duranes, and we didn't even have water in our house or electricity till I graduated from high school. But we had the greatest thing of everything, a loving, caring family. That's me as a soldier boy. When there I'm Albuquerque, I get drafted in the Army. I go overseas and serve my country. I'm coming back from overseas. I get discharged in Oklahoma, and guess what? We're coming back. We get snowed out in Oklahoma, and they won't serve me and my African soldier friend. We don't serve people like you. What? Oh. And then my life takes me to Nicaragua. When I walk out, when I'm looking up through this hole in this patio we're staying at, and there's gunships over there with guys hanging out with machine guns, the Contras and all that, total warfare. And I says, my God, what am I doing here? And from there to Guatemala, where I served in an international business, believe that or not. And the same there, Civil War. You go to the street corners, they had machine gun placements and they had barbed wire and everything and sandbags. And I said to myself, Mamacita, what am I doing here? I just want to go home. And this, very meaningful to me, this is an Elk's fob, Elk's tooth fob. And I actually have one here, an original one, a real one. Why is this meaning to me? When I got to Longmont, Colorado, first of all, I could not live but on the east side of town. I had to live on the east side of town. All people did. And guess what? These Elks Club, I became the first Elks Club member after they barred me to be there because I was black, I was brown. Here, early 1980s, 2 of our boys got shot on North Main Street. You probably remember that if you lived here. That was the birth of El Comité. That's the street scene there where they shot the 2 young boys on North Main Street. And here's part of that family that came out of the courthouse when we had to take on with the Justice Department here and go through a reconciliation process through the entire city of Longmont to heal our city. By the way, people were helping us do that. This was us together as a community, not just the browns against whites. We all were together. The Lehmans, beloved, who owned our paper, helped us get through this thing. That's me over here to the left, long-haired hippie. By the way, still got the long hair. Young, not young anymore, but still maybe a little bit of hippie. And there we are. We're meeting with the mayor and all that, and we're with the Justice Department, and we're taking it on and says, no mas, no more. Let's change it. But I'm always having to prove myself to say that I'm okay with me. All my life. Even out of jumping out of hot air balloons on the bungee rope. I did it for all the wrong reasons, though. Because of the fact I was trying to prove to everybody I could do it. Don't need to do that in our lives. But anyway, I did it. And then just recently, you've probably seen this in the paper. I had this book published. Do you think I could ever believe in my life I'd have a book published? It's now Barnes & Noble. It's now tattered covered bookstores. It's on Amazon, barbed wire bookstore, everywhere. This Longmont guy, they can't. Anyway, they featured this in our magazine, in a paper. And this one here, Nelson Mandela, the man to the left, that's the brother of my good friend Elza Lynn Kruger in South Africa today, my mentor. There, she helped the reconciliation project in South Africa. I talk to her about once a week on Skype. She's the one that told me, Dan, if you don't learn how to forgive, those who want to control you or those who want to do harm to you will control you for the rest of your life. Learn to forgive, and I do, thanks to her. And that's me. I talk to kids and I say to them, yes, we can. All of us, yes, we can. Unity, unity, unity. All of us united together to make this a beautiful place. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.